Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick video today on the number one reason why you are failing to lose weight and why you're failing to keep it off if you have lost weight. Have you ever been in this situation where you want to lose weight but you can't, or you do lose weight and you put it back on later? Why is this? Why does this keep happening to you? This is a cycle that so many people go through over and over and over again. And what I'm here to tell you is that there's a very simple reason why you're doing this, and it doesn't have anything to do with your eating, it doesn't have anything to do with your exercise program. The thing is it's just a simple psychological shift, and that's it. So the number one reason why everybody fail to lose weight and to keep it off is because they're making poor decisions. That literally is all it comes down to, is poor decision making, right? We all know that we need to eat more fruits and vegetables to be healthier and to lose weight. We all know we need to exercise more. We all know what we need to do, but yet we don't do it on a regular basis because we continually make poor decisions. So where do our decisions come from? So our decisions come from mainly one area. Human beings are constantly either seeking pleasure or they're avoiding pain. It is our reality. We're constantly always doing this. We want pleasure and we want to avoid pain. It's really simple. We're always thinking about those two things. So the question comes down to is, if you think about losing weight, think about it for a sec. Just put yourself in the situation, you're trying to lose weight. How do you view this experience? Do you view it as something difficult or easy? Do you view it as work or as fun? Think about it. Pause and think about it. How do you view losing weight? If you view it as something difficult and hard, then in your brain, you're associating it as pain. So you will always try to avoid it. You will always try to avoid it. So that's the number one thing, is you associate pain to losing weight. And even in the wording we're talking about losing weight. Human beings don't want to lose anything. We don't want to lose. The fact that we even call it losing weight, we need to even shift the verbiage on it and say, hey, maybe I'm not losing weight, maybe I'm gaining health, maybe I'm getting the body I want. So the second part is pleasure seeking. We're always seeking pleasure, right? And food is a very pleasurable experience. And like I said, if we're losing weight, then we're going to associate it to loss. And you might want to write this down because this is really important. Human beings will go to far greater lengths to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. Even just something as simple as, if you see someone you like and you want to ask them out, the pain of getting rejected is stronger than the potential pleasurable reward of actually having a conversation and getting on a date with that person. So we are always doing those two things. That's the back and forth reality of our human existence. So basically what we need to do is, when we're talking about weight loss, is we need to make a shift. We need to shift and create the losing of weight, or your ideal goal, as pleasurable, and we need to associate the old pattern as painful. So a really great way to start making the shift is to start asking better questions. So one of the things you can ask yourself is, what do you believe, or what have you been telling yourself to get you into this situation that you're currently in? What might you have to believe in order to be overweight? So answer that right now. If you're overweight, what would you have to believe about yourself in order to do that, in order to be overweight? Because another really important thing too is about human beings is again, another good gem to write this down. The number one, the strongest aspect in the human personality is to be consistent with your identity. So if you view yourself as an overweight sack of shit, then you will find ways to make that your reality. But if you view yourself as an athletic hot piece of ass, you're going to find ways to make that your reality. The need to be consistent is so important to human beings that we will also go to the ends of the earth to make that happen. Okay, so back to making the shift. So ask yourself, what might you have to believe in order to be where you're at? What would someone who's overweight have to believe? And then the second thing you can ask yourself to start making this shift is, what will it cost you if you never make this change? What will it cost you if you never lost weight or you never got your ideal body? What might it cost you? Would it cost you your relationship? Would it cost you your health? Would it cost you your life? Who knows? What is the absolute worst thing? Magnify it. What would be the absolute worst, most painful thing you could think of if you kept doing what you're still doing and you never changed? So now what we're starting to do is we're starting to associate massive amounts of pain to your old habit, to not changing. And this will drive you to want to change. Okay? So the more intense you can make these emotions, the stronger they will become. I mean, like, just as an simple example, like, we all, remember traumatic experiences in our life very vividly because they stick out really strong. They stick out strong in our mind because anything we have strong emotions for, we remember. So if you can associate massive amounts of pain to something, you will start to make it the change. And this is another reason why people don't change in the first place. It's because they're not in enough pain. People say, oh, I can't lose weight, I've tried everything. I'm like, well, the thing is have you ever tried gaining more weight? Because if you actually started gaining more weight, you might realize how much painful it is to be weight, and then all of a sudden you make a radical shift, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't stand this anymore, I will never go back to being fat and overweight again, and you'll make a change. That's how change occurs. Change occurs from when we're in so much pain that we have to change. It stops becoming a should change, and instead it has to be a must. I must change now. And then you get up and you do something about it. Okay, so associate massive amounts of pain to staying as you are and never changing again. Okay? And then the second thing we want to do is we want to create extreme amounts of pleasure to the positive thing that we're trying to get. So in this case, a better body, to be lighter, to be fitter, right? And so essentially what we want to do is constantly visualize that experience. So we want to hold that image in our head. We want to step into that moment. So just pause for a second and just imagine yourself in your ideal body. How would it feel? Step into that moment. Really visualize it. Put yourself there. Maybe you've lost 10 pounds in a month. Maybe you've lost 20 pounds. Maybe you lost 100 pounds. What would be the benefits? What would your lifestyle be like? What would your results be like? How much better would your life be if you had these results? Think about it. Would you be able to finally go on runs like you wanted to? Would you be able to play with your kids more? Would you be more confident? Would you finally be able to attract a partner who is absolutely gorgeous and you're attracted to? How much better would you have more energy? Would you live longer? Think about all these reasons and bring them all into your mind and all into your heart and say, yes, those are the reasons why you're doing this. So now what you're doing is you're starting to associate pleasure to doing what you want to do. Okay? So that's how we start to make this shift. And if you can start to make this shift, this actually takes a lot of time. Or not a lot of time, but it takes repetition. You can't just think about this once. You got to repeat it. So essentially what you're doing is when you repeat these patterns over and over again, you associate pain to not changing, and then you associate pleasure to making the change you want to make. It becomes part of your nervous system. And so what then starts to happen is you start to manifest these results. You'll actually really start to believe them. It won't be just something that's in your head. It'll be something real and tangible, and you'll keep going after them, and you'll be more and more successful. And so essentially what this is called creating leverage for yourself. So essentially what leverage is a lever is something that is small but is used to move a great amount of weight or movement, or just something to move a large amount, something much bigger than it actually is. So a really easy way to get leverage is, I'm going to use myself as an example. Okay, so what I want to do this week is I'm only eating apples for 7 days. I'm on my second day. So what I wanted to do, and then instead of thinking of all the things I'm gonna lose. You know, I can't eat my foods I normally like to eat. Like, it's really hard to only eat one food for an entire week. And so what I want to do is I want to focus on all the positive benefits on why I'm doing this. So why am I doing this? Well, apples are really good for cleaning out your colon. So I want to improve my colon health. I just want to give my body a break of food. I got a little injury on my foot from running a little bit too much, and I want to heal that up too, right? And I just want to improve my health. So these are all the reasons why I want to do this, okay? And so in order to create pain to not doing this, what I did is it's really simple. So I'm just eating apples. Just apples for 7 days. And so what I did is, and I'll tell you right now, I told a buddy of mine, I'm like, okay, I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna eat apples for just a week, and if I don't do this, I'm gonna eat a can of cat food. So I'll tell you right now, if I don't eat apples for an entire week, I'm allowed apples and water, that's it. For an entire week, I will come on Facebook Live and do eat a can of cat food. Now, I've been a raw vegan for 5 years. There's no fucking way I want to eat a can of cat food. So already, the idea of failing this right now, I'm associating massive amounts of pain to not doing this apple cleanse. All right? So that's a very, very simple way you can get a result you want. So if you wanted to get a result on losing weight, you could literally just tell people what your result is and what you'll do if you don't do it, right? If you had to eat a whole can of cat food or dog food, or something absolutely disgusting, I don't know what it is that would make you feel an immense amount of pain, but whatever it is, if you associate to failing to being pain, you're much more likely to do it. And then obviously if you take the other thing that I said, where you can create massive amounts of pleasure, you know, before, I've done so many islands before where I eat only one food for a week, and there's so many times when I'm like thinking about like, oh man, like I'm only eating bananas for this week, I miss mangoes, blah, 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 that, blah. Oh man, I can't have all this stuff. But right now, what I'm telling myself in my head is I'm like, I fucking love apples, man. I can't wait to, well, I'm not hungry right now, so I don't want apples right now. But like, I'm excited to, when I'm hungry again, to have this apple, because they taste really good. And so I'm conditioning myself to experience pleasure from this experience, not pain. And so we need to make these shifts. And this is the same reason why we don't accomplish anything. It doesn't matter what it is if it's weight loss. Weight loss is just the example I'm using. It could be starting a business. It could be starting a race. Why are we making these changes? It's because we're not in enough pain to make a change, and then we associate making a change to being painful. So if something's painful in your head, you're always going to avoid it. You're always going to avoid it. You're never going to want to do it until the pain gets so bad that you have to change. It becomes a must. So don't wait for your pain to be so bad that you have to change. Create it in your head. Make it in your head that it is so painful in your head, and then you'll actually do something about it. Your brain has no idea with the difference between what you imagine and what actually happens. I can sit here and imagine what it would feel like to run a sub 2:30 marathon or something like that. And I can feel what that would feel like. My brain and nervous system doesn't know the difference. And the more times you condition these feelings into your nervous system, they'll just become a reality. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment. I'll post my Calendly link at the bottom. If you are interested in learning more and possibly getting some more strategies on how you can lose weight and just overall improve your life, send me a message and or book an appointment on the Calendly link, and we can set up a chat we can set up an appointment to chat, and I can see if I can help you further. So if not, yeah, hope you're having a great day, everybody, and I look forward. I'll make another video on this tomorrow because there's a few other parts on where decisions come from that I want to talk about, but we're already past like 10 or 12 minutes right now, so I think this is enough. And like I said, I'll eat a can of cat food if I don't finish this. There, I've said it. It's gonna happen. There's no way I'm eating cat food. All right, peace.